Okay, thank you. I realize I'm keeping you all from a beer or going home or whatever it is you want to do, so I'll try to make this a little bit entertaining and brief as well, if possible. So I'm Stuart. I work in messaging product in Vonage. I've been there for 3+ years, so this is obviously going to be a slightly messaging-focused demo. The world of messaging, as we know, is evolving, but SMS is still around 95% of all business messaging spend, or so I'm told. And that's decreasing by about 1 or 2% every year. So we are seeing this shift towards, for example, WhatsApp and other OTT channels. RCS is obviously the talk in town of messaging at the moment because of Apple's adoption of it. And we as an organization are always looking at new use cases and how we can drive customers towards the right-hand side of that diagram. And in fact, we have Jumper as part of our portfolio, and Jumper does offer conversational commerce solutions, and we've had success, for example, with L'Oreal. So it's our mission, really, to educate, evangelize, and bring those customers with us on this sort of more interesting messaging journey towards sort of richer, more secure communications. So Vonage, as you'd expect from a CPaaS platform, has a wide range of APIs. This is not everything, and there's an infinite amount of demos I could do, but try and keep this focused. Just going to look at messaging, voice, and this is all underpinned by our protection suite to find out any fraud that might be in there. So it's a fairly simple demo of a Vonage communication console, well, a Vonage B&B communication console, which is a fictional business, but it's actually based on a real use case we did solve for a customer. And we decided to build a demo around it. So it just keeps multiple guests in touch with a host and any other third-party assistance that they might need. So the next thing is I will launch into this demo. So this is the story of Fred and Josh, who were on a trip with Vonage B&B. And fortunately, the communication platform was available here to manage the unexpected. So they decided to stay at this lovely Mexican bungalow, and they booked it through Vonage B&B. Unfortunately, this console was available to manage all the problems that they found along the way. So in this case, we've got 2 phones. We're going to show Mark, who's the host, and he will be on the right-hand side. And we have Fred, who's our guest, who is on the left-hand side. And this is all proxied, so Mark and Fred don't actually see each other's numbers, and they can maintain a certain amount of privacy while also maintaining a relationship. So then we can launch our Vonage B&B demo platform, and this is a fairly simple console. We can see they're staying in the Mexican bungalow. We've got Mark, Fred, and also Josh, another guest. And initially, we'll just set them all to prefer using WhatsApp communication. So this will allow them to talk to each other and call each other if necessary. As I say, it's all proxied, so it will work like a group chat through a central console. So on with the trip. So Fred went on a trip and brought his friend Josh, and as soon as he arrived, he says, "Hey, doesn't look like what I expected." I'm sure people have booked into places before and experienced that. So Mark, the host, says, "Well, why don't you send me your location? Show me exactly where you are." So he sends the location, and we can see that's being pinged through from one WhatsApp to the other, and Mark realizes that he's at the wrong location. He should be at 398. So Fred says, "Okay, got it." And then there's another problem. He can't find the key. So the key is supposed to be he's been told it's under the pumpkin, the orange pumpkin. So the host says, "Why don't you just send me a picture of this so I can see exactly what you're talking about?" So he points at it, sends a picture, and Mark realizes he should have been more explicit. It's actually the pumpkin on the ground. So you can annotate this image, And there we go. All is good, he's got it. Okay, so Fred and Josh, our guests, decide to settle in and maybe head to the beach and maybe wash a few things, but as I said, things don't always go as you expect. Okay, so Fred now needs to urgently contact Mark, and he says, there's water going everywhere, please help me. And Mark says, okay, let me get a plumber. So we're going to add a plumber now into this group chat. And the plumber is called Mario. And we can add his details. But the thing about Mario is we know he doesn't consent to receiving WhatsApp communication explicitly. So we could probably send him SMS. But we also now have RCS. So we'll try and send RCS, and if the RCS fails, we'll send an SMS anyway. So we're going to send Mario, the plumber, an RCS and ask him if he can come out to the property. So here we go. So we'll see Mario's chat, his phone appear in a moment. So this is obviously an RCS conversation, so it's verified. We know who it's coming from, just like with WhatsApp. We've got the little tick there for a little bit more reassurance. So Mario receives the message and he says, sure, as he trusts this, I'll come out. And Mark is going to suggest now that maybe it's a good idea if we send a photo so that Fred knows exactly who he's looking out for. And we'll go and find a picture of Mario. And here we go. That's a very trustworthy looking plumber. And so there we go. So Fred has now received a picture of Mario, so he knows what to expect. Mario will also send a location. But the important thing is we've got this multi-channel RCS to WhatsApp communication going. And it's all fairly seamless. They're all seeing the same information. And this is because our API works in a very similar way across every channel. So all is good. Mario arrives at the property and he fixes the plumbing. And in fact, Fred is so impressed with the services received and the prompt responses he's got from Mark that he thinks about getting in touch and showing his appreciation. So one thing we can tell here is that we have a phone icon because this is WhatsApp business calling is enabled. It's actually only available in a few countries, and fortunately Mexico is one of them. So we can make a call from his regular WhatsApp chat through to the central console, and then that can be forwarded on to Mark's mobile number. And again, it's a seamless communication across the WhatsApp chat to regular voice calling on mobile. So he says, hey, great, I'm amazed at how quickly you sorted everything out for me. Mark, though, says, I'm great, it's good to be of assistance. And Fred says, well, I'm loving my stay, appreciate it, and all is good. So there you have it. That's multi-channel communication across messaging and voice for Vonage B&B.